The expression is timeless. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Why only 1,000? Why not 10,000? If a photo is worth 1,000, how much is a video? And above all else, are these ideas even accurate? Regardless of the word count, one thing is true. Both photography and video are more than just the words we use to describe them as. It's certainly true for antique photos and black and white footage that are discovered every day, whether it be from old-time cameras found in flea markets or preservation archives burrowed deep within centuries-old libraries. These photos and film can conjure nostalgia and memories, but also spark conspiracy theories and unsettling emotions from the rich mystery that certain images and moving pictures conjure. They're the perfect fodder for ghost stories and supernatural research, and deserve an investigation into the internet's spookiest visual artifacts. Being a fan of top 5s, you've probably got a knack for late-night investigations in all corners of the internet. Whether it's deep dives into the unknowns of the universe, or binging the newest mystery thriller series on your favourite streaming service, you also spend a good amount of time online. But what if we told you there was a safer way to do so? In addition to an opportunity to access the web from any location in the world, no strings attached. With Surfshark VPN, these incredible possibilities are delivered directly to you, in the simplest ways possible, letting you evolve into a top-tier internet sleuth. One of Surfshark's greatest keys is its ability to unlock access to servers from anywhere on Earth. Whether it be the United States, the United Kingdom, or even East Asia, surf the web in any country in any time zone. This means your favourite television shows and digital programming that's only available in certain territories are now available on your own streaming service accounts like Netflix or Amazon Prime. Just switch servers on the VPN to a country of your choice, and entirely new libraries will be at your viewing disposal, on an unlimited number of devices too, never leaving you short on options. There's also an additional level of security as well. If protecting your data and information is a priority, Surfshark VPN uses industry-leading encryption to secure your data, keeps your browser history confidential, and automatically blocks over 1 million known virus hosting websites and other phishing threats. It may sound too convenient to be true, but we promise that's just the tip of the iceberg. For a limited time during the Black Friday and holiday period, from now until December 31st, use our code TOP5s upon checkout to unlock a brilliant 83% discount, along with a new and improved 4 months free and a 30-day money-back guarantee, easily the best price on the VPN market. So what are you waiting for? Grab your magnifying glass, shut those Venetian blinds, and become a better sleuth with Surfshark VPN. And now, if you haven't already done so, hit those lights, sit back, and enjoy. The curious case of the lipstick killer. There have been various crime scene messages left throughout some of history's most gruesome murders. Infamous ones such as the freeway phantoms scrawled taunt on a piece of scrap paper, or the Zodiac killer's coded messages to San Francisco news outlets, have led to nothing conclusive. Frustrating pieces of evidence that remind us of a cold case's eternal mystery. They truly are a maddening phenomenon. Why would a criminal want to increase their chances of ever being identified? In fact, there's an entire profession dedicated to doing just that, analysing handwriting to hopefully rid the world of at least a few more criminals who can't keep their thoughts to themselves. One such serial killer in the 1940s left behind just that, an irrational idea that led to one of the most unsettling crime scene photographs of all time. "For heaven's sake, catch me before I kill more, I cannot control myself," was written by the now identified lipstick killer, also known by his legal name of William George Herons. The message was scribbled on the wall of Franz Brown's apartment in December of 1945 using a tube of lipstick. Brown was the second of 3 murders often associated with the lipstick killer, her cause of death done in by a bullet wound to the head and a stabbing wound to the neck. At the time of the murder, a neighbour to Francis Brown heard gunshots at around 4 a.m, while the complex's night clerk watched an anxious 35 to 40-year-old man of about 140 pounds stumble out of the elevator a few minutes later. It was heavily theorised this man was the killer, and thus the graffiti artist who attempted to taunt the men after him. Despite not fitting the description of authorities' only suspect, William George Herons was arrested 6 months later when leads ran dry in the investigations of the lipstick killer's 3 victims. He was submitted to a series of torturous and violent interrogations by the Chicago Police Department and eventually confessed to the 3 murders. However, after pleading guilty in court and being sentenced to prison, William recanted, saying he was persuaded to confess by police and never killed the woman nor wrote the infamous lipstick graffiti. Upon closer inspection of the evidence, it seemed William could be telling the truth. His handwriting was analysed by multiple experts, who all at one point said it did not match to either the lipstick scrawl or a ransom note left at the scene of the 3rd victim's murder. One of the handwriting experts did change his opinion and said William attempted to disguise his penmanship, but the others strongly disagreed with these findings. There was also a fingerprint left behind at Frances Brown's apartment that matched William's. However, its placement at the scene of the crime appeared to be manufactured, like a rolled fingerprint would be, and is argued to have been planted by the Chicago PD when they wanted to end the investigation. Most damning of all was the horrifying torture William underwent at the hands of police interrogations. A key piece to William's later testimony, despite all of the signs that William was set up, he remained in prison, and clemency was never granted, and the lipstick killer case file was closed for good. The lipstick killer case is one that deserves a much longer inspection, especially if William was innocent, and the 3 women who lost their lives were laid to rest without proper justice. However, unless a miraculous discovery is uncovered, all we'll have left is the haunting photo of the devilish words from a deranged mind and the curious case of the lipstick fiend. To catch a thief. On Good Friday in April of 2016, police in Capel, Surrey released footage from a National Police Air Service manhunt, depicting what at first seemed like a pretty unsettling scene. Take a look.
1-5 are going to take the air. They're now splitting, trying to create their own luck. On the second male, we've got visual. Yeah, second male's in custody, good work.
When viewers first saw the clip of what appeared to be children forming an arrow in an open field, many feared the children were being held hostage, and the police were documenting the scene from above. Others wondered if there had been a shooting or fire nearby, and the children were escaping from the danger. The shape of their positions a mere coincidence. It wasn't until police provided an update to the footage that the real explanation was revealed. Earlier that morning, a group of about 30 people was celebrating the Easter holiday weekend in Capel, when a burglary was reported nearby. The 2 men accused of the theft escaped from the police and ran into the rural farmland surrounding them. At the same time, a group of kids from the large gathering was sent outside to hunt for Easter eggs. While they were searching, they noticed the incoming National Police Air Service helicopter, as well as 2 suspicious men fleeing by foot across an open field. Instead of retreating, the children came together to form an arrow pointing in the direction of the running men. The NPAS pilot noticed the ordeal, and the cameraman recorded their bravery. Eventually, the police found the 2 burglars and sent out a few ground troopers who arrested them successfully. The children, meanwhile, were regarded as heroes, and the police thanked them for their quick wit and courageous effort. The haunting part of the video is what could have happened if the kids hadn't formed an arrow. Could the burglars have escaped undetected, committing further crimes in the future, and potentially crimes to a worse degree? Even worse, what if the children had accidentally put themselves in harm's way, and the burglars turned back to hold them hostage? In the end, the video has a happy ending, but in another world, the risk of tragedy sends a chill down the spine. Prelude to an Assassination. When you think of the most well-known assassinations in mankind's brief existence, you probably think of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, whose murder resulted in the onset of World War I, or John F. Kennedy, whose assassination led to one of the most discussed and debated events in United States history. Some of the more recent assassination attempts have been captured on camera, like the aforementioned JFK ordeal, or The Try on Ronald Reagan's Life by John Hinckley Jr. Even the assassination of Lee Harvey Oswald by Jack Ruby was photographed in real time, the closest artifact we have in comparison to the next photo, a prelude to an assassination attempt. Reynaldo Dagsa was born circa 1975 in Manila, Philippines, and grew up with the aspirations to become a politician. After a successful short stint as an army corporal, Reynaldo entered the realm of elected office when he became a councilman for the Barangay 35 district in Mapajo, Calcucan, along with his councilman duties. Reynaldo also contributed to the Barangay Peacekeeping Action Team, a police force on the ground meant to keep the peace on basic levels across the city. On New Year's Day in 2011, Reynaldo was out with his family on the streets of Caloocan when he decided to take a group photo with the camera he always carried with him on holidays and other special events. When he stood back to take the first photo, however, he never suspected he'd documented the man that was about to take his life. On the left side of the respective photo, you can see a man who at first appears to be holding up some sort of light, like a cigarette lighter flicked open. However, upon closer inspection, it becomes obvious the man is holding a handgun, pointing directly at the camera. This man fired mere seconds after the shutter snapped the picture and ran off, along with two lookouts who were standing nearby. Police quickly arrived on the scene, but by the time Reynaldo was transported to the nearby hospital, he was pronounced dead due to gunshot wounds to the head. The only positive spin to the photograph was that police obtained the closest thing they could get to a mugshot once they developed the film inside and caught a glimpse of the assassin's profile. 2 days later, on January 3rd, two of the killer's lookouts were arrested, followed by the killer himself, a man by the name of Arnal Buenaflor, on January 7th. The theory as to why these men targeted Reynaldo is still debated to this day, but many believe it was retaliation for a shootout Reynaldo engaged in a few months prior as part of his Barangay Peacekeeping Action Team duties. Nevertheless, the assassination's recording is one of the most terrifying photos ever taken. The innocent grin of Reynaldo's family, juxtaposed with the killer's eyes looking down the sight with malice, is something out of a nightmare, and is truly gut-wrenching to think that these family members were living their final moments with Reynaldo alive. A killer's echo. For years, animals and domesticated pets worldwide have aided investigators' efforts to solve numerous crimes, such as the two cats who helped solve the disappearance of Laurie Orca in 1989, or a grasshopper whose missing limb helped identify a killer in a murder case in 1985. It's one of Mother Nature's most incredible feats, allowing creatures to connect with humans and help shed the light on even the darkest of mysteries. Such was the case in 2015, when Martin Durham's murders went unsolved until his pet gave police their best clue and ultimately put the case to rest. As a bit of backstory, Martin Durham was a resident of Ensley Township, Michigan for years before marrying Glenna Durham. The couple raising their 5 children, all from previous relationships. In 1995, Martin survived a horrific car crash that left him with amnesia and permanent brain damage, ridding him of his ability to work. With Martin having to settle with disability, Glenna Durham became the sole moneymaker in the family. She was a habitual gambler too, often losing the household's income on hefty casino losses and countless lottery tickets. Martin, being a frugal individual, often headbutted with his wife over finances, which led to various disagreements over the years. On May 13, 2015, the couple's marriage hit a breaking point when police were alerted to gunshots at their property by neighbours. Inside the Durham home, investigators found Martin dead with 5 gunshot wounds, and Glenna barely alive after sustaining a gunshot wound to her head. Around the house were strewn bullets and broken belongings, strong signs that the couple had endured a struggle. Despite the messy crime scene, police were not able to solve the slaying, and the case went cold for over a year. That is until authorities received a video from Martin's ex-wife, Christina Keller, showcasing Martin's African grey parrot Bud, mimicking something terrifying. Take a look and listen.
It's intense when it happens. My house turns cold.
Police heard what Christina heard as well, who took in Bud after Martin's death. The parrot had been crying out, "Don't effing shoot," in the same tone of Martin Durham's voice, mocking what appeared to be the man's final words. It was a part of a larger video in which Bud seemed to mimic an argument between two people, later proven to be Martin and Glenna. This evidence, combined with Glenna's search history of the weapon used in Martin's murder, and an envelope of suicide letters she had written, allowed police to obtain a warrant and collect the cold hard proof needed to convict Glenna of first-degree murder. The most haunting part of Bud, the parrot's expletive-filled bird calls, is how they are almost an audio recording of Martin's final words before his death, and will last as long as Bud is alive. They're a painful reminder that Martin did not deserve to die when he did, and put the listener right in the room with he and Glenna as she pulled the trigger. It's a miracle of nature Bud was able to bring justice to Martin Durham, but his recording now serves as a haunting artifact of death and despair. The ironic laughter. One of the peculiar things about photos is their ability to convey emotion, both with or without context. The second you lay eyes on an image, your brain tells you how to feel or how to react, depending on what you see. It's only until you learn exactly what is happening in a photo, you can channel a more organic decision on what's at stake, and how that photo will appear to you for the rest of your life. Without context, pictures that appear dark or melancholy may actually be full of happiness and optimism. Other images that display joy and serenity may in fact withhold pain or despair behind the scenes. Like the old adage goes, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, nor should one trust a photo until the entire story is heard. Such advice is necessary, more so for the following photo than maybe more than any other in history. This particular image comes from a camera in 1944 that captured what originally appeared to be a retreat of sorts. A group of mostly women enjoying a hearty breakfast as they relaxed on a wooden overlook above a forested enclave. There's a man to the right playing an accordion, and another one stretched out on a beach chair in the bottom of a frame. All signals point to innocence and escape, like college students celebrating Oktoberfest or giggling at the freedom of summer camp. The photo actually comes from within the walls of Auschwitz, a death camp and mass extermination site utilized by Nazi Germany throughout the Holocaust and World War II. A man by the name of Karl Hocker, adjutant to the final camp commander, Richard Beer, took a series of photos capturing the cheerful and benevolent attitudes of Auschwitz's German workers as a personal project. He was tried for aiding and abetting the murders of 1,000 Jews and was sentenced to 7 years in prison in 1963. But the album was never destroyed and eventually discovered by a US intelligence officer in Frankfurt, Germany. The photos were then donated to the United States National Holocaust Museum, who labeled the photo series Laughing at Auschwitz. The most haunting part about these photos in particular is the realization that despite all of the pain and suffering and hellish horrors suffered by the Jewish people within the camp, the ones carrying out such acts of evil never batted an eye. They went about their lives as if nothing was wrong, treating their workplace of torture and death like a vacation in the Swiss Alps. Let their smiles of irony be branded into your memory as reminders that just a single photo cannot do justice to a story that must be told, and that the horrors and hauntings hiding within them must be told with the correct context, even if they are more than 1,000 words.